All right, thank you, Buccaneer fans, for tuning in. I'm Scott Smith, and it is my distinct privilege to be sharing this room with Buccaneer legend Warrick Dunn. Warrick, are you ready for a trip down memory lane?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be interesting to see what I can remember.
Well, this is the famous, maybe the best regular season game in Buccaneers history, the famous Monday Night Football revenge game against the Rams, the wild shootout. There's nobody
Yeah.
better to share it with than the guy who produced much of the Bucs offense that night. I assume this is one of your career highlights, right?
Oh yeah, I remember this game. I know a lot of times people play highlights on social, and they played this game. I remember a couple of weeks ago the NFL had when I pitched the ball back,
Yeah.
so
We'll
it
get to
was
that.
it was kind of cool. Yeah.
Well, okay, I should have probably referred to you as both a Buccaneers and a Falcons legend because you are one of only two players in NFL history with at least 7,500 yards from scrimmage for two different teams. And do you know who the other one is?
Nope.
It's Marshall Faulk. So we're going to see an awful lot of both of you guys as we roll this right now.
An electric atmosphere at Raymond James Stadium in
Yeah, you can tell it's really hyped up here, Work. And at this point in time, we were selling out every game. The crowds were huge, but was the atmosphere even more electric this night?
It was because I remember this game. This was opportunity to get to the playoffs. Whoever win this game was going to get to the playoffs. So I know we were on. We were focused that night.
Yeah, and there was a chance that the loser wouldn't make the playoffs. As it turned out, they
Yeah.
both did. And we're off here. When I did this with one of these with Rondé Barber, he was talking about how much everybody loved Martin Gramatic and what a great kicker he is. I mean, did everybody feel that way on the team back then?
Oh yeah, no, Martin was he was our ace. Man, we loved him, and we just knew we just had to put him in position, and he was going to knock it down.
Well, they get the ball first. Fortunately, they didn't score on this drive. We'll see why in just a moment. You probably remember, actually. There's the first Marshall Faulk run of many, many to come. How about that defense, man? There's stars everywhere.
But no, we've always been a defensive team, so for us, we just knew that hey, we need to do our part, get those guys off the field. And I just remember, playing against them in St. Louis and losing that game. So we had a lot of, revenge in our minds.
Exactly. Now, Lynch almost got a pick there, but he usually saved his later in the game. That's a bit of foreshadowing right there. But Rondé Barber with the pick there. He came up with a lot of big plays at the right time.
Now, we were roommates, so our rookie years, we were roommates, so,
He didn't get to play much that year.
No, he didn't, but, he studied the game, became a great player.
One of the announcers here referred to that as a huge break. I don't know how that's a huge break. That's just a great play. I mean, Rondé totally reacted to that.
It's a lot of instincts. He just really understanding how the quarterback was going to throw it, what he's looking at. He had really good instincts as a DB.
Allstott gets the first carry here.
Yeah, if you remember, he did this year. I know he was out a lot, so he's really coming back in. So they're trying to get him going as well. So
we talked about that a lot in the. They said they tried to get him started early, but then after that they mostly went to you. But he's been out for about a month. In that 4-game span, you had 691 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Yeah, wow. I didn't know it was that much, but I knew I had to pick up the slack.
Yeah. So it was thunder and lightning for most of the time that you were here, but there was this period where Mike was out, and I mean, he really turned it up during that month.
Yeah, well, I think I really fit the offense too. I mean, I know we were really good on offense, effective, so it all just came together.
Why wasn't that a touchdown for Keyshawn there? Because it looked like his second foot hit the pylon. I thought that was a touchdown. Back then?
Yeah, I thought so, but maybe he stepped out a little bit, or he didn't have control.
Yeah, you had a play like that when we played the Rams again the next year. I think it was the winning touchdown. And you kind of hit the pylon as you were going out of bounds, and they couldn't review it because they'd already used all their timeouts.
Yeah.
So here we have Probably feel like people watching this game probably feel like, man, big pick. Could be a high-scoring game. The Buccaneers, it's unfortunate they had to settle for a field goal. But as it turns out, this is the difference in the game.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of touchdowns to follow, but it was a 3-point win. All right, we had a little bit of a break here. St. Louis had another 3-and-out, and then Dexter McLean had an interception. And then the Rams drive down to the red zone, as you see here.
Yeah.
So
man, those guys, they were explosive, man. You know, they were explosive, and you know, just standing on the sideline though, you want to see a great team play. I mean, it wasn't sitting on the bench; it was like standing up trying to watch. It's like, man, these, we were fans as well because it's just great offense that they ran, and we knew that our defense had their backs against the wall, but we also believed that that we could stop them as well. So.
He did the previous year in the championship game.
Yeah.
They scored 35 in this game. They were averaging about 33, so that wasn't really anything unusual for them. The part that's driving the announcers crazy throughout this whole game is that you guys were keeping up with them all the time on offense.
Well, sometimes you can hit people by surprise. They get lax, and they weren't a great defensive team. I mean, they were really good offensively. So we just needed to, play our game, and we actually played at a high level that night.
Yeah, Sean had a really nice game. Sean King.
Yeah, he did. He did.
And Keyshawn, this is a big game for Keyshawn too.
Well, it was probably a good reminder for the Rams last week of Marshall that they could score that many points without scoring via the air.
Marshall ended up with 4 touchdowns in this game. And that was his 20th of the year. He was having just an incredible season.
Wow.
I think
they utilized him well, though. They utilized him well, run and pass. I mean, he was effective for their offense, so not surprised.
You're going to see a play later in this where they somehow got him matched up against Hanatu and on a I guess a wheel route. That didn't go real well for us.
No, not at all.
Their offensive line played really well in this game too. Adam Timmerman was really blowing people up. So that now they've got the first touchdown, and at this point, this is where if the Bucs are going to hang in this game, they need to answer it. And this drive coming up is pretty much all you and Keyshawn. There's Carl Williams, the truth.
Yeah, the truth, man. It's been a minute since I've seen the truth.
He's doing good still. I think he's in Texas now.
Okay.
He returned punts pretty much the whole time he was here, but he didn't really return a lot of kickoffs. But I think Aaron Stecker was hurt at the time.
Yeah, I think Steck, he got hurt the first game that it was just him and I. He ended up getting injured, so.
Oh, yeah. So he would have had a chance to get some carries with Mike out, but then he got hurt.
Yep. Wow. I made a guy miss in the backfield.
You did that a lot this night. You also bounced off a lot of tackles.
Yeah. Well, it's just really just having patience and just reading. So you can see how I just tried to wait for the guard to come in and get the guy in the hole. And after that, you just have to make a guy miss. And,
You were good at that. A couple years ago, everybody made a big deal out of Le'Veon Bell doing sort of that thing where he sort of waiting in the hole.
Yeah.
New, but you do that a lot in this game.
Takes it up to the 30, and that's a first down.
Well, obviously, all stats and all pro. He's a monster. He's like a Ray Harryhausen creation. But the fact is, both these guys.
Yeah, and he's just coming back. So this was the adjustment game for him, just getting back into it. So.
Yeah, he didn't end up getting a whole lot of play in this game.
Yeah, he's not a great blocker, Al. And
by the way, this will be less choppy in the final version. The video.
Oh, no doubt.
But it won't be that way.
After this team had started 3-0, was the beginning of a 4-game losing streak for the Bucs, who have now rebounded to win 6 out of 7.
That being said, imagine how insanely pumped up the old.
Yeah, you guys were on a pretty good run at this point after a little lull in the middle of the season.
Since the 79 Chiefs, they've won 3 straight games without throwing.
Yeah, we did go on a run. I do remember that.
Did you see that stat
really
there?
Got comfortable. Yeah, like 20 less passes.
won 3 straight games, and in each one, 20 or less passes.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I mean, Les Steckel was the coordinator that year. I think that was his only year. Wasn't it?
Yeah, that was his only year, and it just took us to get comfortable in this offense. And
Okay.
once we got comfortable and everyone really understood what the goals were, it just became second nature.
This is also the year where Dennis Miller, the comedian, was in the Monday Night Football booth. And people didn't like that a whole lot.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's Keyshawn too. Catch a ball, talk trash.
That's for sure. Al Michaels is saying how King went over here and looked that way and then had to go back the other side, but that looked like a design play all along.
No, that was design. That was design. Yeah, that was definitely design.
That was his first read, I'm thinking. I think that was the plan the whole time.
Well, it's just basically what you're trying to do is just move the defense to one side, and you could see when Keyshawn came back, he had a certain area he was running to. So,
yep. You have about 6 Rams lying on top of you right there. That must have felt great.
Yeah, well, just so you know, I had to learn early on, get down in the fetal position so I could protect myself. So.
But again, that's another one that I was talking about. You talked a little bit about it at times that people thought you were small, maybe a little small to be a runner between the tackles. And it's underrated how often you're bouncing off tackles.
Well, I had a really good center of gravity, and one thing that was really strong for me was my legs. So I just tried to always make sure I kept my balance, and I wasn't trying to give guys a really great shot at me. So I always tried to get skinny, but I had to learn to run inside early on with Coach Dungy the first 2 years. I mean, we ran old school football. We had to run inside. So I definitely learned to run inside on a professional level.
You're going to see a lot of that tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And here I think is a touchdown for you. Remember this play? The swing pass?
Oh, yeah. Get up. Oh.
Boom. Oh, no, that wasn't the touchdown. I'm sorry. But that was a great play.
Oh, yeah. That probably woke me up, too. You know how you're going, you get woke up, and helmet comes off. They hit me in the head twice that game. Just probably fired me up.
This pass went a little bit forward, but it looks a lot like the famous play from later in the game when you pitch it back, but that one actually went backwards.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was the same play. You could tell me.
It's probably close to being the same. I think it was the similar play.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 of those swing passes in this game. So I think that was a big part of the offense. Now, was that supposed to go outside?
No, it's supposed to go inside. I mean, I wasn't going to run into a pile. So, my instincts just came in, and I ended up bouncing. I was always looking for daylight. I always tried to really just follow the block and understand what we were doing offensively. But I ran the daylight. And on the goal line, I just felt like if I can try to get to the corner, nobody's going to beat me to the corner.
That was certainly true there. Dennis Miller's talking about All-Star being a decoy. He was actually lead blocking on that play. Okay, so now we got another break in the action. The Rams come back with a long drive, and here they are at about our 28.
So this was a lot of pressure on our defense to shut down a powerful, just explosive offense. It was a challenge for them, but they rose to the challenge, and they just, even though they got scored on, they just kept fighting, and they kept us in it. So.
Well, yeah, the Rams only had, I think, 14 points well into the third quarter. I mean, they made a little. You guys had a 28-14 lead on them at one point.
Buccaneers who show blitz, and here they come, and it was Barber who was blitzing and knocks down Falk.
You were talking about your roommate there, Rondé. I mean, that was one of his patented blitzes. I mean, when you say he helped just define that blitzing from the nickel thing.
Well, he had an instinct, but I also think he just had a knack for, timing it up right, fooling the quarterback all the time if he's going to blitz or if he's going to go in coverage. So he just really had a knack, and he was quick, right? I mean, he wasn't the fastest guy, but he was quick, and he utilized his quickness to make plays. So yeah, I'm proud of him.
We were just talking, I think, about the playoff picture here, and we were talking about that. The winner was definitely in. You guys still had a shot if you lost. If you won at Green Bay the next week, but if you recall, that actually ended up being a loss. If you'd won it, you'd have had a first-round bye. And it was at the end, Martin, who was so great, he was the Pro Bowl kicker that year, really surprisingly missed a field goal at the end, and then you lost in overtime. So it's a good thing you won this game.
Oh, I remember that. That was, I want to say, day after Christmas or something like that, Christmas Day. Yeah, you remember all the bad things.
You know what else that game had was that really nifty two-point conversion where I think you took it and then handed to Allstott, and then he flipped it out to Sean, something like that. Remember that?
We had some crazy plays. Yeah, I have to see it to remember it. But
somebody ran one similarly a couple, like last year, and everybody's going crazy. I'm like, we did that in 2000, man.
Yeah.
I like that analogy.
So they're going for it on 4th. Just another indication that everybody thinks it's going to be a shootout. Which it was.
Yeah, well, I mean, 4th and inches, you take your chances. You're the most explosive offense in football.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Probably not a real tough decision.
No, and plus, if they don't get it, their defense comes on the field, and now we have to have a long drive. So.
He's got to carve out his own turf and let his team know he's going all the way with him tonight.
A little bit of confusion right from the snap there.
Yeah.
Jumping over to the right side on first down from the 16-yard line.
Wow.
There he goes.
Yeah. They good job of selling us off on that.
What's that? What do you mean?
Their offense did a good job of really selling off the backside. So it created a scene for them.
21 touchdowns in 2000.
So
He thinks he who has the ball last might win it tonight.
that backside, created that crease.
Yeah, the announcer Dennis Miller just said he thinks whoever has the ball last is going to win this game.
Yeah.
Which wasn't true, but it was close to true.
I remember this night though. I mean, it was, just thinking back on the night though, it was electric for Tampa. I mean, the fans were just crazy. They went bananas.
Now, this drive coming up, you guys, it's big. I think this is a really big drive because he answered right back. This drive, this one you start, and then Keyshawn finishes. Todd Light, I remember him.
Oh, yeah.
First round pick.
First and 10 at the 31-yard line, and this is Warrick Dunn picking up 2.
Now your buddy Frank line on top of you there.
Yeah. They're always trying to get them cheap shots in.
Second down and 8. King coming this way, turns it upfield.
And see, I think this was an advantage for us before, is that having a quarterback who can actually scramble and take advantage. If everybody's covered up, he could run for positive yardage. And I think Sean brought a lot of that magic that year for us, and that really helped us extend a lot of drives. So
you're absolutely right. You're going to see that later too. The offense mostly was going through you, and Keyshawn made a lot of big plays. But the other big thing that was working, like you said, is the Sean King runs. And I think there was even a design run.
Yeah,
you're going to see him scramble around the right edge again later on a much more famous play.
Now you get all the cliches now. He's been a workhorse as well. This is Dunn. And a bell cow to
Yeah, I should have just. I look back. What was I doing on that play?
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, come on, man. You could. I could have did something else. I was always hard on myself. You know, I felt like I could have made a play. I should have made it. So I was always my worst critic. You know, my heart. You know.
Well, it seemed to work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you could hear the announcer there, Al Michaels. I did
Yeah,
not remember.
we were worse than the league in short yardage.
At 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1. Yeah. And I didn't believe it, so I looked it up, and it was true. It was like 43.5%, and the league average is like 67%. That's just weird to me.
Well, you got to think, though, we didn't have Mike Allstott, who was really our short yardage runner, right? We didn't have him for a lot of the season early on. So we were in situations sometimes where we weren't able to make it. I wasn't going to run over big guys, you know.
Bucs had only been 7 of 17 this season on 3rd and 1. The league average, normally you'll make that about 2/3 of the time.
Well, we made it that time, and that's what counts.
Yeah. Oh, that was close.
That was a surprising call. That's Patrick Ape. Remember him?
Yeah. I mean, bringing back a lot of memories, man. A lot of memories.
He was a blocker, clearly. He had 6 catches all year, but I guess you're pulling Les Steckel's pulling out all the stops on this one.
Well, Coach Steckel was creative, right? He had tendencies, but, you know, he took chances too, so.
Listen to what Dan Fouts says about this play on the replay.
And that's going to set up a 3rd down and 4.
You know, if he gets this ball out in front of Warrick Dunn may score. That's probably one of the knocks against Sean.
You'll see that's true when you see the replay here in a second.
Yeah.
Sean had a great night, and that was a completion. But if he'd have put this one a little ahead of you, you have room to run.
See, he's just looking at King, and then Dunn gets in behind him.
Oh, yeah, I had to. Yeah. I made a good adjustment to the ball. Yeah.
I think it was Mike Jones. You'd gotten around the linebacker and turned him around, and you would have been able to keep running, but you had to sort of slide backwards and catch it.
Oh, I should have made that. I missed that guy.
No, you got him, didn't you?
A little bit, but it wasn't like I was supposed to. High expectations, man. You know, high standards. So.
That's what you were just talking about, because I had written down nice block in my notes here. You're saying it wasn't good enough. Got him.
Oh yeah, we got him.
There's this play. I don't know if you recall that they challenged that he got his 2 feet in and this is one of those replay reviews that just took forever.
Oh yeah.
4-minute break. I cut that part out so we didn't have to listen because it was just a lot of Dennis Miller saying how stupid it was to do replay and how it broke up a fun game, which was somewhat true.
Yeah.
He ended up with 22 carries and 5 catches in this game. 198 yards from scrimmage.
2nd down and 9. King throws, caught at the 9-yard line, and that is a.
And see, this drive right here was, you know, we did it all. We ran a little bit, we threw the ball. It just wasn't like 1 or 2 plays and you score a touchdown. I mean, we really drove the football and got into a rhythm. I think this drive just really got into a rhythm, and we gained a lot of confidence off this drive, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and you used a lot of people. I mean, we threw it to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Both tight ends and Daquez, you and.
1st and goal.
I think it's Eastern.
45 remaining in the half. Here's Dunn. You know, an interesting thing about this game right now, Dan, is it's being played at the Rams' pace.
I'm gonna be interested to hear what you think about your block on the touchdown throw that's coming up here. I don't know if you remember this.
I was doing my best.
Well, you kind of had to go around Sean to get him. You'll see what I mean. I think there's Ricky Dudley. No, that can't be. That's not Ricky Dudley. He was on the team then.
says we have the talent to match up against this defense.
Well, the last time on a Monday night, they played a little bit of racehorse at Minnesota in a tight game, which the Vikings won. Second and goal, King avoids the
You can't really tell from that angle.
Well, no, so I was trying to make sure I avoid the quarterback. I mean, he was dropping his. Sometimes, some quarterbacks drop straight back, some drop at an angle.
Oh.
So I really had to make sure that I didn't impede him dropping back, and I still needed to give my guy. I just threw my body, the best I can do to just get in his way. And sometimes, I mean, I learned that early, definitely like my rookie year. Like, I may not knock a guy down, but I'm gonna get in his way. And
yeah, you described that well. And they'll show a replay of it from the end zone here in a second, and everybody will get a better idea of what you're talking about. Here you go. Oh, from behind. Yeah, he does look like he's dropping back kind of diagonally there.
Yeah.
But you got a helmet on the knee.
Yep. Yeah.
And it didn't stop him, but it made it so he only had that one shot at Sean, and he was falling down, and Sean moved out of the way. So it was just enough. We got another little break here after the touchdown. I took it right to the third down play, and Sapp gets the sack there.
That's typical Sapp.
Yeah, Booger kind of blew this play up first, and then Sapp cleaned it up.
Yeah.
No, actually, it was Tyoka Jackson.
Tyoka.
Right there, 97.
I like Tyoka, man. Good player.
He was a real rah-rah guy on the sideline, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So he kind of created that play.
He did. I mean, you saw his takeoff from the line. He got upfield and did the spin. That was textbook.
Yeah. I said the last drive was big.
Oh, this is towards the end of the second quarter.
Exactly.
About to go to halftime.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and I remember this play. I remember this play coming up.
Oh yeah. This is one of the couple times this night when you sort of ruined Kevin Carter's night.
Yeah.
He was later a Buccaneer, really good dude.
Yeah, he paid me back years ago when I was in Tampa, in Atlanta, hurt me. So,
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy. I like him.
He got his 100th sack as a Buccaneer. He was a great player. But like you said, there's only like 2.5 minutes left, and instead of like playing it safe,
no, we kept
just
going.
Really went for it.
Yeah, we kept going. So.
Yeah. Describe that play for us, because it looks like you fake like you're going out on a route, and then you come back.
Well, it was if I remember, it was like a slow screen in a sense.
Okay.
You could see how the guy's going out, and I got up, and I just had to make sure. I knew my guy was on the outside, so how you get a guy, you step inside to give him this commit to going in. Then I went outside, and I knew I was quick enough where he wasn't gonna catch me. I was quicker than him, so
that was good.
Utilized my quickness on that play.
Took a shot downfield here. There's another block.
Oh yeah.
Mike Jones was coming in the backfield a lot in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I was still young. I was still learning how to block these guys. So, but this is our signature play all year long right here for us. I mean, that was one of our favorite plays, I think, in his offense all year. That little swing pass coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, if they get it blocked right downfield, I mean, you just accelerate so quickly that you can just pick that lane and hit it really quick, which is what happened there.
15 passes, only 14 runs. No, 23-yard gain there.
That looked designed.
Oh, that was designed, but Sean King has the ability. He can run the football, and that was just an added layer for us. Because anytime we needed a yard or two, I mean, he can drop back and pick up that yard. And he wasn't a skinny quarterback. I mean, he was healthy, He can run through some tackles. So.
Well, we've already seen a couple of big runs from him.
Yep.
And you know the one that's coming towards the end, but there was another one, I think, on the winning drive where he converted a 4th down.
Boom. Yeah. The impressive thing is that what Sean, he did a lot is that he always stepped into his throw, no matter if a guy was going to, he was going to get contact. He always stepped into his throw. So, it was always there on the money.
So after that touchdown, now you see you guys are up by 10.
Yeah.
We got a halftime. There wasn't a lot in the first, 3 quarters of the third quarter. This was like the part we skipped was like the only stretch where both teams weren't just moving up and down the field. You guys got the midfield later on the next drive. Damian Robinson, remember him, had an interception, and then a Bucs ball. And now the Rams have the ball in scoring territory.
Well, I think Lynch's shoulder's tweaked, isn't it? He's got a separated left shoulder.
Marshall Faulk likes to talk about a time when John Lynch got one of the few just totally solid hits on him he ever took in his career. I don't think that was it, but it looked like another one.
Lynch, if he got a shot at you, he's going to hit you. Donnie Abraham, man.
How good was he, man?
Oh, he was money.
I think he's one of the more underrated players we've had.
Oh, yeah. Great instincts. Guys just had a knack for the game. Yeah, he just had a knack for it, but he fit what Coach Dungy, what they were trying to do on defense.
I think Ernie Conwell's like option number 73 in this offense. He's probably not used to it, especially in the second half of the game.
Abraham will be going to the Pro Bowl, one of 8 Bucs.
Oh, yeah, they just said he's going to the Pro Bowl. 8 guys. I guess that was probably one of your Pro Bowl years as well, I'm guessing.
I have no idea.
If we had 8 guys going to Pro Bowl, I'm pretty sure we would win. That's the play I was talking about, where somehow they designed that play and end up with covering Marshall Faulk.
Wow. Yeah, that's always a mismatch.
Cheaty's another underrated player in team history, but I don't think anybody wanted to put him covering Marshall Faulk.
Look at this matchup here.
Yeah, that wasn't fair. Cheetah would tell you that today. That wasn't fair.
Yeah, he was not put in a good position there. Fortunately, after this touchdown made it a 3-point play, a 3-point game again, somebody came up with an immediate answer.
Yeah.
I want you to break that one down for us. Actually, 2 somebodies, because Carl had a really nice
return. Yeah.
This is his best of the night. This was still before we'd ever had a kickoff return for a touchdown, and Dennis Miller was going crazy about that all night.
Well, that tells you that's the difference between running a real play and just nailing the football.
Now watch this. Break this one down for us.
Swing pass. I just swing pass, and I just really tried to read the block, but I knew if I can get past the first guy, I was going to just get upfield. And when I had really good blocking downfield, I just had to outrun a guy. And, I didn't think it was going to be that open, of course, but, I didn't think I was going to have that big of a seam to get downfield, but we struck. One play and we struck goals. So.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sure we'll have a replay of it here.
Yeah. Well, at first, because when I catch the football, I get hit.
Yeah.
You can see guys thought, oh, he's about to run out of bounds. And I wasn't. I didn't, I just fooled a guy and just really just stepped upfield. And I learned that in college. Coach Bowden was like, you're not going to just run out of bounds. You're going to run out of bounds with contact. So they didn't hit me out. I wasn't going to run out.
That's exactly what the announcers were trying to figure out there, if that was on purpose. Okay, now we got another little break, which I'll explain, but this is 3rd and 20 here.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's the only 3rd and 20 you guys converted that or longer that entire season.
Yeah. It just happened to be this game.
So after your score, Hawk got another TD 4 minutes into the fourth quarter, so it's 31-28. and then you start this drive with a 20-yard run. We didn't see that, and then that gets us to this 3rd and 20, which is just an unbelievable moment.
No, it's just, but I remember Jaquez taking that big hit, right? I mean, scramble, and that's how scramble drill. You're on the sideline, go upfield, and he followed protocol. And, he took a big hit. Most importantly, he hung on to it. So,
yeah, that was a great play. He had a couple really great plays on the sideline. He'd actually limped off the field, looked like he might be hurt a little earlier in this drive.
He was deceivingly tough. Even though he was a Gator, he was tough. He played hard. So.
You're mentioning that about a lot of the players in this game, that their teammates are tougher than them.
Yeah. No, I think we this is just like now just really having a feel for the game. I mean, when you start having big runs and those things, you really got to feel. I think we were feeling good on offense that we can play with these guys and that they can block them. It was just up to me just to, follow the reads, and I needed to make the next guys miss, downfield. So I was just running.
Well, that was a great run, but this is where the game almost got away from you guys.
Yeah.
You remember what happens next?
No, I don't.
Well, we only got one more touchdown in us, and you know what it is, so it's not going to be here.
Oh, wow.
Dave had a shot here.
Yeah, yep. We ended up kicking, right? Did we kick a field goal here?
No, it's worse than that.
Oh, we didn't score. Oh my gosh.
Dave was great in the red zone, had a lot of touchdowns. But I think the announcers are right that it looked like he thought he was closer to the sideline and had to try to get his feet in.
Oh yeah, he took his eyes off the ball. Right, and just trying to get his feet down. Yeah. Yeah, that's touchdown right there. So that hurt us.
He had no shot on that one, man.
Oh no. I mean, I'm surprised I was even running the goal line right like that. Usually that's all started. He took all my touchdowns down it anyway. So
well, maybe Les just felt like you were feeling it that night.
Yeah. Well, Les was, his mentality was a lot different. So
it looked like you maybe were going to get a couple more steps and try to jump over, but those two linebackers just hit you before you could get there.
Well, I can tell you this, that it was never my intention to ever jump. Really? I know I jumped at the end of this game.
Yeah.
I was too small. Like, why am I going to jump? They can just knock me. I was light. They hit me, I'm gonna fly even farther. So I never wanted to leave my feet because my power was really into my legs. So I wanted to make sure I was always down using my power.
Well, that makes sense. But like you just said, we're going to see a time when you did jump.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was. And moments later, it gets even worse.
Yeah. That's tough right there.
And before that play, you guys called it. The Bucs called a timeout, and Sean let it run down almost to the last second because you're running off the clock, thinking you were going to have another 10-point lead with 6 minutes to go. And in the end, we probably would have liked to have had those seconds, but you have to play it the way you think it's going to go at the time.
Yeah.
Well, optimally, they wanted the touchdown there, but had they not scored and only gotten a field goal, didn't hurt them that much. They'd still be within one.
Keyshawn, he couldn't get high enough. The ball should have been a little bit higher probably, so he can actually jump and get it. Tall guy.
Actually, Cleon had a great game. Their corner, I think he had 2 picks.
Just what we need, they're driving down to put it on us. So
yeah, so the Bucs failed to get the touchdown there, and then after the touchback because of the pick, you see that play, and then it's about to get a lot worse here in a second.
Yeah.
And I think you probably have an idea what's about to happen. It's going to be a long touchdown for them, and I just wonder after the pick, it felt like the game you were close to being able to put it away, and then the pick, and then this play. What was the sideline like at that time? Do you remember?
We were all in shock, quiet. And you think, man, somebody got to make a play. It's just like that thing. Somebody has to make a play. But we were still confident. I think when we ran out, we still felt like we could move the football because we've been doing it all game long. So it was just a matter of, thinking, okay, we got to take it one play at a time. I knew that, certain people were going to touch the football. We just needed to stick with what we were doing all game long, but just take it one play at a time. So, but we did have confidence. No one went in and nobody was doubting in the huddle. We just knew that we just had to execute.
Yeah, and like you said, you've been doing it all night. So another little break in the action here. Actually, the next drive, the Bucs went for it on 4th and 10, didn't convert, but the defense did manage to get the stop that they had to have, but had to use all 3 of their timeouts to save as much time as possible. So that led to that punt, which fortunately went into the end zone. And here we are starting this final drive with about 2:28 left. No timeouts.
Yeah.
And the announcer, I don't know if I probably talked over it, but one of the announcers was saying Bucs only have 2.5 minutes left. And this is an offense that's not built for the hurry up. I mean, it was a running story all night that the offense just really couldn't produce quickly, according to them. And I thought it was a little strange considering how many quick drives you'd had in that game.
Yeah, but that wasn't our characteristic. So he's just going off of, what type of team we were before this. But tonight was just different.
That's true.
It was different. We just knew that, okay, we're down by 4. We do have one timeout, the 2-minute warning. It's like, okay, no matter what, it's going to be 4 downs, no matter what we do. And we got to make a play. And it was just a matter of, okay, who's going to make that play?
As it turned out on this drive, there was a bunch of different guys that made big plays.
Yeah.
It was more than you're saying. Somebody had to make a play, and about 4 or 5 different guys stepped up in this. One of the most memorable drives in team history right here.
They got to get a touchdown.
Damn, it's fine.
Well, believe me, I was hoping they called my number. So call them. Yeah.
There's another sideline play for Quez, and like you said,
yeah,
Sean's mobility was big there too.
But I think that was huge. I mean, you see the play that him and I made. I mean, if he didn't have that, the ability to move, I mean, we'd be in trouble.
We're about
he was athletic enough. Yeah, he was athletic enough where, his mobility, was a benefit in this game a lot for us, a lot of different times in the game.
It's funny you should say that at this exact moment. So I'm gonna let you take the mic here, and this is the play, man.
Yeah, this play was similar to what we ran at the end of the first, at the half, right?
Yep.
Except I was offset. Here it's just very similar play. Give it to me. And now it's just like, okay, he didn't tackle me, so what am I gonna do? It's just.
Was Sean calling for the ball, and did you hear him if he was?
No, but I just knowing you understanding down and distance. I mean, you can see him looking for the ball, but it was just my instincts of, hey, I'm just gonna flip it, and you can see I'm being pulled and flipping at the same time. So anything could have happened. The ball could have flew anywhere, but it took me back to my childhood of how we did street ball, and he was alert. The good thing about it is that he was aware, which was important, right? If he wasn't aware of what's going on, I could have flipped the ball. A game could have been over with. But he was aware.
I mean, that was the last millisecond you could have got that off there.
Oh yeah, and I tried to get up, and he tackled me.
I saw that, and
that helped. That actually helped Sean, right? Yeah. So. I tried to get up and he tackled me, and that helped him. And you can see we didn't think about it. We just like, we got to keep going.
Yeah, I'm guessing that Kevin didn't know what was going on, and he thought the important thing was to keep him on the ground.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, see, now you can see we got a little bit more life in us, opportunity. You know, everybody's a little bit more, a little more spunk moving around.
Yeah, and at this point, you got a minute 26, and you're already at their 40, so you got plenty of time now.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, I wasn't going to let a linebacker, you know, cover me.
2nd down and 4 from the 29.
I remember this guy.
Yeah, I knew they were trying to blitz us. Oh, man. I think if Jaquez could have just kept, you know, instead of stretching out, then 2 more steps, then stretch out, you know, he'll probably stay on his feet, you know.
I think the announcer said here, and I think it was a pretty good point, that it looks like at the last second he's thinking that's going to get tipped. So when
it looks like it, right? It does. But just think though, if he didn't think the ball was getting tipped, and he would have just kept running, he would have just ran through that and caught the ball and ran through the end zone and been a hero.
Exactly right, but it's just instincts, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I think you're open on this play.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I'm never gonna say not throw it to Keyshawn, right?
He didn't quite make the slide and catch here. They rip on him a bit in the broadcast, but it's not exactly a gimmick.
Oh yeah, well, he took his eyes off of it. It's just we all do that sometimes. You know, guys coming. Okay, let me just look to make sure I can protect myself.
Right.
He just took his eyes off of it.
It had to be tense right here. The 4th down. This is everything, and this is another instance of Sean doing it with his legs here.
Yeah. His feet, they play it big.
Ooh, 50, and that's London Fletcher.
Yeah, that was huge.
London Fletcher was a great player, and he was still really good that year. And he gets to him. They mentioned a couple times in the broadcast that he was spying on him because Sean was so mobile, and I think that's what he's doing here because he reacted really quickly to the scramble. And
he didn't drop. He didn't really drop it from coverage. He just stayed right there, and he was following the quarterback. So,
and he clips him in the foot, but Sean was able to stumble over the line. I mean, that's so close to being the end of the game right there.
Yeah, I mean, that was, you know, this is a game of inches. Game of inches. So,
would you call this play a wheel route? That's what I always called it, but I had no idea.
It is a wheel route. It is.
I feel like while you were here that we threw so many of those wheel routes. It seemed like a play we tried all the time.
Well, I used to, you know, with Stucco, man, you can catch post routes. Yeah, we did a lot of different things in which I was happy to catch the ball down the field, you know, show some diversity.
I mean, it's a good matchup, just didn't quite get there.
Yeah, but, you know, you still had the safety there too, which, you know, I think the way where he threw it, he just threw it to the safe area.
And the Rams take a timeout. The Rams choose to the Rams are the only team who can take it.
No, we're talking about all those guys who stepped up. About to have another one. Somebody we haven't heard from the whole game yet. On this next key play. I wonder what the discussion is here.
I'm sure he's trying to figure out what play we're gonna run. What play we're gonna run. Who?
In a situation like this, do you think you're more likely to go back to something that's worked a lot that night, or you want to pull out something new that they haven't seen already?
No, you want to try to pull out something that guys are comfortable with, that they have a lot of confidence in. And if it's plays that we've been successful all night on, you're gonna pretty much change up formation to try to fool them of what you're running a lot of times. So,
okay, this guy's it. Saw Mr. Glazer there. Saw Mr. Glazer there for a second. I bet he was down at the locker room shaking hands after this game. He always did that.
Wow, man, Riedel. Man, that made a big catch, man, big catch.
That was his only catch the night. He only had 12 receptions. That was only his 12th of the whole year right there.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, I guess he was just. I guess maybe this was towards the end of his run here, and he wasn't a big part of the offense at this point.
Yeah,
But that
good
plays
back shoulder throw. Yeah, I mean they practice this all the time, right? Good back shoulder throw, and man.
What a catch!
And look at the concentration, right?
Yep.
That's just.
Well, it's Monday night. What else is new?
I'm not so sure the Bucs want to be on the 2-yard line, though. So good the last
Well, I know they talk about that short yardage.
Now they don't like this call at all on 1st and goal. I can tell you the announcers really don't like. But he is wide open.
Yeah, but just look. If he threw it behind him, right? If he'd have threw it in front, it's pick.
Yeah.
2 guys on the outside. So, it's good. It's a good sense of awareness with Sean to actually know, hey, I need to throw this ball on the backside and not forward because that ball would have got picked.
Good call. You're absolutely right.
2nd down and goal.
Is this it, or is it the next? Is it on 3rd down? Oh, this is it.
This is it.
He's in.
Did you see where you took off from on that play?
Man, no, I couldn't listen. I had no idea where I took off from. I mean, no idea. I just knew that, man, I got to get into this end zone by any means necessary. And I'm not a guy who likes to jump, but I just got chills watching the play because it brought back. I mean, it's so many memories of just going in. I knew I fell on my head, and it was just. It's just. Man, it's just a crazy feeling. And I tried to watch it, later in the week, and I think I took off from like the 4-yard line almost.
Somewhere around the 3 or the 4. It's incredible.
Yeah, 3.
You're going to see it here again.
4.
You can describe it to us when we see the other angle on this.
And again, remember I told you I'm not a guy. I don't want to leave my feet at all. But it's like when you think about it, I didn't have a seam where I can hit and just, put my head down and run through. So, I took the path less traveled, and that's in the air.
Well, I gotta imagine it was instincts too. And,
oh yeah, instincts. Instincts definitely came in. And as players, you got to play with instincts.
I'd say your back foot was around the 4 and your front was around the 3.
Yeah. I don't care where it was at. I just saw the seam. Yeah, I just saw the seam. Once you see a big hole, your eyes got big, you got to hit it. And I just tried to hit it.
But then 3 guys were closing in, so you just went over.
Yeah. Well, I saw the one guy in front of me, and I was just like, okay, they're expecting me to come low because I'm a small guy. Can I,
Uh-huh.
You try something. It worked. It worked.
Yep. One of the greatest plays in Bucs history right there. That drive had a couple of them. But this game is not over.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
And you guys probably didn't even think that. There was almost a minute left here, and it's the most potent offense in the league.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The best offense in the league is coming out with Marshall Faulk. I mean, we were still sitting on pins and needles, right? Can our defense stop them?
And Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce.
Yeah.
One thing about Gramatica is did a lot of short kickoffs tonight.
And here comes the first run back.
Obviously, that's a bouncer to make sure. That's Marshall Faulk back there.
Yeah. Well, most explosive player in the game, big playmaker. Hey, that's what you gotta put him in, get the most out of him.
They said that was the first time that he ever returned a kickoff.
Oh my goodness.
That's how serious that situation was.
I'll finish it, says Warren. Now the Rams try to get into field goal position for Wilkins.
They knew. See, Warren knows it comes down to us, the defense. They did their part. We got to come seal it,
Yeah, he looked pretty intense right there. I don't know if you remember this play.
Oh, I remember that one. Close. Game could have been over.
It's hard to tell from the angles they have here, but it looks possible like he could have gone the distance. But
yeah.
Hard to tell for sure. Certainly would have given him a lot better shot. from midfield. And you sure don't expect Isaac Bruce to ever drop a football.
No, but when those guys are flying around, John Lynch back there, you're going to be a little hesitant about catching a football. But I know Isaac wasn't scared at all.
Speaking of John Lynch, I said he usually saved his picks for late in the game. Boom.
Yeah, that was.
And he knows to get down.
Oh, yeah, he definitely knows to get down. He's not going to outrun anybody. So.
Well, I mean, get down and the game's over, you know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You can just see it's like, man, we did everything we could to win this football game to get to the playoffs. That was the most important thing. We got to win this game and get to the playoffs.
That was the most important thing, but that was a factor too. That giant sign that fan was holding up. Everybody thought about this revenge game in '99.
Oh, it was. Listen, that '99 game, that was a catch. You know.
Oh, Bert Emanuel.
Yeah, that was a catch. But
yes, we will believe that to our graves, indeed.
It's all good. It's all good.
So I imagine you guys are celebrating pretty hard in the locker room here.
You know, you just go down. This is we're celebrated, but it's another game. We still have more games to go. We still got to move forward. So, like you said, we went the next weekend. We ended up losing off a field goal of Martin, but that was a great feeling, great night. It was just. The atmosphere was electric. I mean, it was, you know, the crowd was really into it. And it was just like a perfect night for football in Tampa.
You summed it up well, Warrick. Really, again, it was a privilege to get to watch this with you. Obviously, one of your greatest performances in a fantastic Buccaneer career and NFL career. So all of us here down in Tampa, all the Buc fans, really thank you for taking the time to do this for us.
No, I appreciate it. Hey, I'm still there. So I just don't go out much, but I'm still around. So you can't get rid of me.
Thanks again, Warrick.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks, Scott.